issue with his leg or legs or something, or they tightened up or something happened. Do you know what happened during the fight?
Yeah, the calf, the front of the calf got stiff. It could be due to, lack of potassium. There's just, again, to Monday morning quarterback it, you can think of a lot, 10 or 15 different things that we could have done different to maybe prevent that of happening. Maybe we didn't hydrate properly. There's a few different explanations to it, but at the end of the day, it's something that I thought that we had gotten over. It was one of those nagging ailments that had been bothering him since the Marquez and the Barrera fight, but we had got rid of it over the last few fights, the last 6 fights, and it just came back to haunt us because we didn't focus as much on it as we had in the past, or I didn't focus on it.
But at the same time, I know with Marquez, it continued, let's say, from the 4th round on to the 12th round and got worse. What happened? Because I saw you get in the ring and help Manny with his leg. Did it end up getting better at all, or did it continue to get worse?
It got better. We just we had to just stretch it out and rub it out a little bit. It was just like anything else. It just got a little tight and stiffened up. And once we rubbed it out and gave it a good stretch, it finally it abated, and Manny was back to moving and moving around. Probably, I think after the knockdown, he said it just went away. Not the knockdown. I'm sorry. It went down after he was thrown down by Mosley.
So, I mean, do you think the conditioning and everything that you did to help prevent that, even though it inflamed for a minute because of the conditioning he was in and because of all the preventative stuff you did during the fight itself, it helped recover quicker?
Sure, I mean, he was conditioned and he was in shape, and sometimes, even the most conditioned and best trained athletes have situations in competition. They pull muscles, they get strains and things like that during competition. It's part of life. This is one of those just unfortunate incidents, I should say, that one of the leg muscles got stiff, earlier, and again, could have been low potassium, not proper hydration. A lot of things could have been the cause of it, but he was in great shape, and that's why he was able to overcome it. It just it passed on its own. Just worked through it.
So obviously there's a list of candidates for Manny to fight next. Obviously Mayweather's the top of the list. Whether or not that's ever going to happen, we don't know. But Mayweather isn't somebody that comes at Manny Pacquiao. He's someone that, I don't know if he backs up obviously like Mosley did, but he has a very defensive style. So was the Mosley fight a preview to what we might see with Mayweather, or do you think there would be more fireworks and more action with the Mayweather fight?
That's a good question. I think that's more of a question for somebody like Freddie. I don't know. It's really hard for me to say. I think it's a terrible fight. Style-wise, it's extremely boring. You got one guy being offensive, another guy being defensive. It's cat and mouse all over again. Why the people want to see that, I don't know. It's going to be another disappointing fight, I think, because again, styles make fights, and those are just two styles that are just not made for each other.
What if Manny knocks Floyd's ass out?
then he knocks his ass out, and I guess
then would it be a good fight?
Then it's a great fight.
There you go. I think that's what the fans want to see, but I agree that it's just hopefully that would happen during the fight, because you wouldn't want, obviously, it's such a build-up for that fight to happen, and then the result of the Mosley fight.
It's the same thing in this fight. I'd be honest with you. I honestly thought Mosley had a different mental approach to it. Watching some of the things, reading some of the things he was saying. I'm going to knock Manny out. We're going to, we're not going to be stupid. We're going to come at him differently. They spoke a great game, had us all convinced. And I think, again, which luckily for us, we prepared for that. We did think he was going to come out, try to knock Manny out in the first 3 or 4 rounds. Manny said himself behind closed door, he says, if he's going to come, at me to knock me out, he says, I'm not going to move. I'm going to stand there and let's get it on and see who's got power. Let's go power for power.
So interesting. So the smart game plan, I guess, if you were just looking to win, for Manny would have been to dance around the first 4 or 5 rounds, let Mosley tire out, and then maybe catch him later. But you're saying right now that Manny said, hey, if Shane is strongest in the first 4 rounds, and And if he is going to come at me in the first 4 rounds, I'm not going to use basically a strategy to get by those first 4 rounds, but I'm going to go toe to toe.
That's what he said. You know, that was Manny just said, hey, if he's going to come and, you know, bring his power out, I want to show my power. And like he said behind the doors, let's get it on. Let's see what happens.
And obviously we saw what happened. Mosley came at him in the first 3 rounds, or 4, obviously the first 3 rounds, and wanted to go toe to toe with Manny, and Manny brought it.
I didn't think he did. I didn't think Mosley tried to come forward at all. All I saw was Manny chasing Mosley the whole night. It just so happens that Mosley made a mistake, dipped to his right a little bit, and got caught with the left hand. But I didn't see him. I didn't see him come after Manny the way he went after after Mayweather. He was throwing those big right hands early. He was engaging. He was being offensive. I didn't see any offense from Mosley. I didn't see any of the things that they said that they were going to do. Nassim Richardson said, you know, Manny's no big deal. You know, they said he's no big deal. They ain't never seen a fighter like Manny. They've never fought a fighter like Mosley. We've never fought a fighter like Mosley with speed and power. All I saw was the same as that I've seen in everybody else. A guy throw one punch and then just try to survive and make it through 12 rounds.
Very good.